What's up? It's your boy, I know Mercy the Mad Hatter, here today with another comic book review. Pretty close after that whole Tarna thing. I figure I can actually make this a fairly regular thing. Not every day, but maybe once a day, but maybe once a week or something like that, if that's something you're interested in too. I actually have to kind of talk quietly today because it's like 3 in the morning right now, and my brother might be asleep, so I just want to keep it calm, and I can probably do that because I don't think I'm gonna have too many complaints about what I'm talking about today. Um, so apparently there was a limited Raven run for Raven sometime in 2006 or so, and Raven is one of my favorite Teen Titans. I'm always good to read more about her and everything like that. So I found this limited series, about 7 issues. So we're gonna go through them one at a time, see what we think, see how good this is, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna lead up to the Teen Titans comic I reviewed a while ago. So let's get into it. Okay, so full disclosure, I didn't actually read that much of New 52 Teen Titans. I read a few things. The first storyline, the culling, they were shit, and I didn't really put too much effort in keeping up with Teen Titans after that. I knew eventually Raven joined the team, and they were doing things. They had in this awful looking costume. I mean, just the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. And I was really happy when they got rid of uh, that for Rebirth. But I don't think I need to know that much about what happened in the New 52's Titan run to really follow this. And I got the basic idea. It's Raven's usual story. It does mention that she had a few brothers, and Trigon was a thing with them, and but the big thing is that apparently um, during the New 52, Aurora actually mentioned that she had a sister, and I don't know what happened to Aurora. Maybe she died. But after the Teen Titans split up, Raven decided she needs to get in touch with the only family she has now that's not homicidal or demonic, and goes to San Francisco to reconnect with her family. And that seems like a decent setup. No overt superhero things going on. Just Raven trying to live a normal life, which is actually like the last Raven limited series that DC did. Almost suspiciously the same basic premise, but I don't think it had the whole ant ant angle to it. But the fact that they're apparently Christians, which is fucking hilarious, and and like they're a cool family. Like they don't like judge her or anything like that. They don't treat her weird or treat just like you're Aurella's daughter. Okay, then you're part of the family. Come on in, we'll take care of you and everything like that. And that's cool. Like Raven is dressed like the stereotypical goth chick. She worships interdimensional. She worships an interdimensional goddess. She actually, I don't know if they have. Actually, I don't know if the family knows she has magical. Know that she has magical powers. That she's part demon. It'd be interesting if part way through, like I'm sure they're gonna figure out eventually. I'm curious what they're gonna think about that because Trigon is basically Satan. So there's that. She goes to high school, and it's how you would expect Raven going to high school would be. People look at her, they think she's weird. she does use her powers to make 3 girls who are making fun of her think they're pregnant. That was fun. But like, things happen. She inexplicably gets like a group of people to surround her and try and befriend her, which is like, okay, that never happens, but sure, why not? Um, I don't think it's as bad as when Bella Swan first came to school in Twilight, because like they aren't weirdly complimenting her and saying she's really funny and shit. It's just like, no, they're just a bunch of people who want to get to know her, so it's okay. And the weird thing is that there is this one girl. Um, I don't remember what her name is. One girl who is kind of psychically attacking Raven, and she does it twice. Second time, actually. She tries to distract Raven from from zeroing in on her by basically striking another dude blind, and Raven heals her. Raven heals him, of course, and then tries to track her down. She does manage to track her down, but then something weird happens and she gets blasted back and hurt really bad. And apparently this girl that is actually friends with the people who are started hanging around her. I don't think you'd call them friends just yet, just like they're people that know her. They're people that know Raven. And what's really weird is that she goes to this warehouse where this massive energy is, and the girl gets sucked up in the massive energy, and I don't know. It's like she was leaving from a carnival. Like, her new classmates invited Raven to a carnival, and she didn't go. And this other girl went, and then she left and went to this warehouse. Then ball of energy, and then she's absorbed in it, and then she's playing like the test your strength game, and it's really weird and surreal, but I think it somehow tore Raven's soul self out of her body. Like, I don't know what the fuck is happening there, but that's what it looked like happened at the end of the book. So she lost her soul self? How? Why? How bad is that? Like, that can't be a good thing, I wouldn't think. So, yeah, that's first issue. I am genuinely intrigued. I want to know what the hell is going on. So, oh, thought we were done with this stupid fucking costume. Hey, so it's daytime now. Yeah, so I read the first issue. Ate something. Like I said, it was like 3 in the morning, so read the first issue, ate something, watched a few videos on YouTube, then just kind of went to sleep. So, okay, so issue 2. So the last issue ended with a few kids trapped in this weird, glowing, pulsating sphere thing, and Raven's soul self left her body for some reason that she couldn't control, and it actually picks up with her trying to, I guess, wrangle her soul self back in. And she does. It flies her over the city, and she nearly falls to her death. But it comes back to her. She teleports back home, and everything's fine. I mean, not everything's fine, because her soul self left her body without her volition, and a child and a teenager is missing, so that's not good. And Raven goes to school the next day, and she actually does in her dialogue mention that the reason why so many people are kind of drawn to her because she kind of used her empath powers to make them like her, which is kind of fucked up. But she's a teenager in a new school, and she's weird, so it's not like in the original Teen Titans run where she was first introduced and she made Wally fall in love with her. So it's not as bad as that, but it's whatever. And then this other girl Then these two other girls come in. A girl named Ant with two T's. It's a thing, whatever. And this other girl comes in and says that the girl who attacked her yesterday had gone missing, which is what we saw. And Raven like subtly sends her soul self out, and I guess no one else can see the soul self because she does it in the middle of a crowded fucking cafeteria. But whatever. She sends it out to the girl Taylor. Her name is Taylor's house. Have it look around. It's just an ordinary teenage girl's house. So how and why she attacked her the other day, Raven still doesn't know. And I think I'm getting an idea that Raven's family doesn't know that she has powers or what Arella was really into, because she keeps calling Arella and Raven Angel and Rachel. Like, they don't acknowledge that her name is Raven. And I guess on her birth certificate they mentioned that her name is Rachel Roth, which is sometimes Raven's name when she's hiding out on Earth. So I'm guessing that they don't know about the soul self and the magic and all that shit. But then that night, there's another thing. The guy who got blinded, Archer, his name is. He goes out to the giant pulsating ball of evil, and then Raven senses it, and she goes after it, and it kicks her ass. The glowing ball of evil kicks her ass. It just keeps repelling her like insane shit, like, you're not ready, don't go here, stuff like that. Like, I don't know what this is. It might have something to do with Trigon, but probably not. The last issue, Raven specifically said that whatever the fuck is happening here, it doesn't have to do with Trigon. So I'm curious what this is. But then the police show up, and a bunch of onlookers show up because it's a giant white glowing ball of evil. Anyone's gonna be curious about this. But then the entire crowd, like, I don't know if it's just teenagers. It looked like there were a bunch of teenagers in the crowd, but I don't know if it's just teenagers that are being attracted to this thing. But they all get like hypnotized and drawn into the giant ball too. And Raven is trying to save him, and then she sees Ant, and she's trying really hard to save her, but she doesn't. And she's just curious, what the hell is going on, and how can I stop it? Because this thing keeps pushing her away, and she's not sure what it is, and she still has that terrible fucking costume. I'm sorry, that is just the ugliest fucking costume I have ever seen. It's so bad. Why does she keep wearing it? And her soul self apparently looks like it for some reason. Why? I don't fuck. This was written by Maud Wolfman. You'd think he'd like be able to like say, no, we need to change his ugly fucking costume. Like, he cannot think this looks good. I know he's probably old right now, but god damn it. God fuck. But then the issue ends with some guy watching the news of, all the kids going into the giant white death ball. Well, not death ball, they aren't dying. It's just whatever. And he picks up a costume. I don't recognize it. I'm sure I'll figure out who it is in the next issue. But yeah, that's about it. Something I didn't talk about in the first issue is Raven's design. I really like Raven's design. It's pretty simple, just, like I said, standard goth chick. One thing I think is odd is that the jewel on her forehead is now in between her eyes on the bridge of her nose. It's weird, but okay. Like, at least it's there. I've really been missing that jewel. I think it's called a chakra. I don't care. The jewel has always been an iconic part of Raven's design for me, and like I said, I've been missing it. So wherever it is on her face, I'm glad it's there. So yeah. So Raven decides to call the thing sucking up people just the thing. Because I guess she's uncreative. Seriously, giant white glowing ball of evil is still a better name than just the thing. Okay, so we start pretty much where we left off. Raven sitting in front of the giant white glowing ball of evil. She realizes that she can't stop a bunch of people, walking into it, and it's not just teenagers; it's a bunch of other people. For some reason, there are some people who aren't affected by it, and I find that interesting. Uh, she actually does get a bit of a look inside of the thing, because she's holding on to a woman who's like halfway in, and she manages to see through her eyes, and she sees it's a giant carnival, which is kind of what we saw at the beginning, because that Taylor chick was like I said, was using a test your strength machine, and I guess as more people get drawn into it, more the carnival gets filled out. But they're all screaming, "Make it stop!" just over and over again. And I think Raven actually has the theory that the people that the thing is attracting are like they're already in some kind of pain, like they have some kind of issue, or there's something going on in their lives. At least after, maybe I'm just extrapolating, I don't know, but it seems like it's attracting people who are already kind of messed up in some way. Because the first person it absorbed was this bum. I guess it just kind of fed off of his emotions and what he was thinking, and I guess attracted like-minded people. Because while he was trying to save her friend Ant, like I said, it backhands her and like knocks her around her a bit. But Raven realized that it's trying to keep her away from it because she's strong enough to destroy it. Which she says that while it beating the piss out of her, but okay. Like, I guess if she got inside of it, she could destroy it, so okay. And it said not yet or too soon or something like it's like, so she all that, so she theorizes it's because she's stronger than it right now, and if she gets inside of it, she can destroy it. But if it can absorb more people's souls, because that's what it's doing, it's absorbing the people's souls and then spitting them out, because it spits the bomb out, it'll be able to kill her. And part of that is that while she's fighting it, it actually teleports her back to her house and temporarily erases her memory of it. But then her cousin Billy starts talking about it, and it jogs her memory and stuff like that. And then she goes off and fights the thing again. But it really messes her up this time. Like, it sends her to the fucking hospital. She's so fucked up. And while she's at the hospital, another one of her friends is there. She's trying to check on her boyfriend, the Archer dude. And then her soul self starts freaking out while she's in the hospital, and it's weird, and it looks like I don't know, like bad shit's happening. And then the dude with the costume that issue 2, ended on the cliffhanger with. Apparently, he's part of a group, and they're responsible for the giant white glowing ball of evil. And then they send out a mass, video message, whatever, to the city of San Francisco, like a terrorist group would say. They actually call themselves a terrorist group, I think. And says, like, if you don't pay us a bunch of fucking money, we'll kill everyone or something. I don't know. So that's how issue 3 ends, and it's still good. It's still good. I actually kind of like the family, because they're religious, but they don't come across as Bible thumpers, and it seems like the aunt blames Arella for more than is actually happening. I mean, admittedly, Arella's own bad decisions led to a lot of shit happening, but again, if she hadn't banged Trigon, then Raven wouldn't exist, and so yeah, like bad decisions, but some good came out of it when Raven actually has control of herself and doesn't turn evil like she had like 3 other times. But um, but I think it really is clear by now that no, Aunt Alice doesn't know anything about magic or anything like that. So again, I'm really curious. I know by the end of this story arc, the family's gonna learn what exactly Raven is and who she is and what she can do and everything like that. And I'm really anxious to see how that all plays out. So yeah. So those guys in the stupid costumes ransoming the money weren't actually responsible for the big white glowing ball of evil. That's not surprising. All right, so this issue starts off pretty much where the last one did. Raven's still in the hospital. Her soul self is still freaking out. What's actually kind of interesting is that she actually has some interactions, some really good interactions with some of her friends from school. The blonde chick who was in the last issue, who saw Raven and getting wheeled into the hospital. She actually talks to Raven for a little bit and figures out that she's, Raven from the Teen Titans. And they talk a little bit, and then she kind of takes her fear and her worry and stuff like that, and everything's fine. Then she goes to Aunt, who's still unconscious, and takes her pain away, and she wakes up for a little bit, and then Raven puts her back to sleep. But before that, she actually has kind of I can't say it's an out-of-body experience. I guess it's an in-of-soul experience. I don't know. She's basically fighting her soul self, which manifests itself as Trigon, because of course it does. And she's worried because if the doctors try and operate on her, because, she's freaking out and she's not sure what the hell to do with her. If they try and operate on her, her soul self escapes from her body, or she'll die or something like that, and her soul self will escape from her body under the influence of Trigon and, kill everyone, I guess. But it's weird because that Ant girl, she is in Raven's soul self and is telling her, to kick the thing's ass, basically. And I'm curious why she's why she has so much relevance in this story all of a sudden. It's actually kind of strange that this girl that, admittedly, she did meet her on her first day, and, she was the first person who was actually, nice to her, so, I guess there's that. Aunt was the first person who was, just nice to Raven for no reason and isn't related to her. So, I guess that actually does mean something to Raven. I don't, like I said, I didn't read much of the Teen Titans, the New 52 Teen Titans, but I don't think that the Titans were, as accepting of her as, you think she would be, as, she'd probably want to be. But then this random girl shows up and she's just nice to her, so it means something to her, I guess. Okay, I can dig that. So then she goes to those 4 costumed morons, kicks their ass. She knows that they aren't actually responsible for the giant white thing. And, like I said, she kicks her ass, calls the cops, they presumably arrest them. Then she goes to her high school, which is being used as a shelter for all the people who are afraid of the giant white thing. And she uses her powers to take away their pain and anxiety, and she explains, ever since issue 2, Raven's inner monologue has kind of done this thing called Raven Factoids, which is kind of cute, I guess. Where she explains various parts of how she works and how her powers work and stuff like that. And this, she establishes something that's been a thing ever since Wolfman first created her in the 80s, is that when she absorbs pain and negative emotions, she actually has to feel it herself. And then you realize, holy shit, this woman is awesome. Like, she has to take not only her own issues, but also the issues of anyone else who she has to heal. That's that's always been, that's always been so cool to me. Like, that's why Raven is my favorite Titan, because she has to take on so much just to do what she needs to do. And yeah, she's dark and she's creepy and she's moody and stuff like that, but she's still like doing that. She's doing her thing and stuff like that. And like that's always what I appreciated most about Raven. But then like all of the people in the building, I guess, just start floating and going to the giant white ball of evil, but it still won't let her in. So it is absorbing more souls, and she doesn't know what it is, where it comes from, or how to stop it. But she does theorize that it might be related to her soul self in some way. So it's maybe part of her or part of Trigon or something, but she doesn't have all the answers still, and she's not doing too good, because like even more people are now in mortal danger, and she, like I said, has no fucking idea how to stop it. So, yeah. For the record, why can't the outfit she has on the cover of this issue be her actual crime-fighting outfit? It looks so much better! So, Alice took the fact that her niece is a demon a lot better than I thought she would. Alright, so the giant white ball of death is getting bigger, it's absorbing more souls. Raven can't stop the just tide of people walking straight into the fucking thing. At best, she can do is just try and take away whatever pain or anxiety they're feeling before they become one with the whiteness. This actually has some pretty great moments in it from the supporting cast. As far as I know, this is a limited series, and I don't think it's going to continue past this point. But I actually do hope they use. Some of these characters in the Teen Titans comic that came after this, because, like I said, I really like Raven's family. Some of her friends from school are actually pretty cool. The blonde chick that she met, Madison, they actually called in all of her other friends. Told them that Raven was Raven. And they all came in and they all started talking about how their families suck, and I guess that's kind of why. Like Raven said that she used her powers to make them like her, and I'm wondering if it's just everyone has a messed up family, or if she like subconsciously chose these 6 people. If she subconsciously chose these 6 people because they have just as many family issues as she does. I mean, obviously not as bad considering none of their parents are fucking demons, but like it's actually kind of fun to see how these people will gather around her and how they'll play into Raven's growth from here on out. Except we won't, because this is a limited series and the story isn't continuing past the next issue. But Raven's family does actually find out that she's Raven. Her little cousin Billy, he figures it out because he's apparently a big fan of the Teen Titans. He actually was the first shot you see of him in the big group shot of the entire family welcoming Raven into the house. He's actually wearing a Superman shirt, so he's probably a big superhero fan. So he figures out that she's Raven from the Teen Titans, and then Alice does kind of freak out a little bit because she's not entirely sure how to handle what's going on, but Billy and the other Mary Beth, she actually sneaks out of the fucking house and goes to the giant white death ball to try and help Raven, and this is a cool family, and then of course the giant white death ball grabs Mary Beth, and Raven tries to fight it off, and she kind of starts giving in to her demon side, and she freaks out a little bit, and she probably could have just nuked the thing from at that point, but then she'd be giving in the Trigon, and that wouldn't be good, and it's kind of it's kind of the Jedi paradox. Like, you can't kill a bad guy in anger or in cold blood because, like, that's the way to the dark side. But if you don't, like, you run the risk of the bad guy getting away and doing more shit, and that's always kind of been the paradox of superhero comics. Like, you can't just murder a dude in cold blood, because it's not the right thing to do, but you also have to do whatever you can to make sure the villain, like, isn't a threat anymore. And that's always kind of been my issue with people who said Batman should just kill Joker. Like, that's not his fucking job. His job is to catch Joker and put him into the hands of people who can take care of him. It's the fucking legal system's reason why Joker is still alive, really. The fact that he hasn't gotten a lethal injection years ago is on the courts, not Batman. So Mary Beth goes to Raven, and they talk for a little bit, but then the giant white death ball figures out that, oh, this is important to you, huh? Yoink. And like I said, Raven's trying to help her, but she can't. And then her kind almost giving into Trigon actually gets televised, and her family sees it, and she's like, oh, and they're all freaking out. And then when Raven kind of calms down, she's too weak to stop the giant white death ball, and it absorbs both Mary Beth and her, and she's inside the white ball of death now. And really curious how this is gonna end, because like, there's a fucking carnival inside, and I don't know what's gonna happen next, and I want to know what happens next. So yeah. You know, I always knew I'd like Alice. And so the Raven Limited series finally comes to an end in kind of a way that makes a lot of sense, honestly. It starts out with Raven inside of the giant white death ball. It's a carnival like she expected, but she didn't expect it to be like an actual carnival. But it's an actual fucking carnival with physical rides and shit. She's trying to get to anyone who can hear her, and trying to get them to reject the whiteness as it was. Like, none of them are listening to her, and she's not even sure if any of them can actually hear her at all. Like, she sees some of her friends from school, she sees the girl Taylor who was attacking her. Turns out she was like the first or second victim of the thing, because when it like psychically attacked her in school, it was actually trying to get a bead on her, like figure out what she is and how to beat her and shit like that. And that's how all this started. So, like, she wasn't evil, she was just being used by something that was evil, much like Raven herself. And then the giant white death ball starts attacking, just like bitch slapping her and making her forget things, but then she remembers it immediately. And it actually goes on for like 2 pages of her getting bitch slapped, forgetting what's happening, remembering it, and then getting bitch slapped again. And she realizes that's just gonna keep happening unless she leaves, which she does. And then Aunt Alice shows up, and she explains, yeah, she knows what she is, it's fine. And this is why I like Alice, because she's an actual fucking Christian. She is what a Christian should be. She knows what Raven is. She knows what her mom did. Well, not everything her mom did, obviously, but she knows what her mom did, knows what her mom taught her, but she's family, so she's still with her, and she's gonna do whatever she needs to help Raven fight whatever the fuck that is. And it actually helps. It actually helps, because she gets all the people who aren't affected by the giant white death ball to join hands and follow Raven into it. And that positive energy actually gives Raven the ability to fight back and finally destroy the thing. And that makes sense, because Raven isn't just affected by negative emotions, she's empowered by positive ones. So her aunt and all the people that followed them into the giant white ball, it actually made her strong enough to just nuke the fucking thing, and everyone's fine. And what's kind of interesting is that after everything that happened, there's like a mass hypnosis. Like, everyone forgets the giant white death ball even happened. And so they just say all the destruction that it caused was because of a tornado. Because, okay. And it's funny because she calls Beast Boy after everything happened, and she tells him about it, and he tells him to tell the League about what happened and everything like that. And he even says, "So they just said a tornado caused all of that." It's like, fucking really? It's like, you know what? It's better that they believe something stupid happened than something insane happened. It's because of course it will. Like, who would want to live with that kind of trauma? And it makes sense because, and it alluded to that almost immediately because after the giant white death ball was blown up, like all of Raven's friends in the hospital, like Aunt wakes up and asks why she's in the hospital and she can't remember, and none of her friends can remember why. And I think Raven actually did that, might have done that. It's like just wiped everyone's memory of the entire thing because, like I said, no one would want to live with that trauma, and it's better for everyone. Um, Unfortunately, it also erased her family's memory of it, so I guess they don't remember that she's a demon or that she's a superhero, which, okay. Which, again, like, yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, okay, so yeah. But then it ends with a big family dinner with Raven's family having dinner, and that's how it ends. Just her and her family having dinner, and yeah, this was pretty good. And of course, and like I suspected, it's a lead into the new Teen Titans book that I already reviewed. And I actually haven't followed up on that at all. Um, I've been meaning to, I just haven't gotten around to it. But this was really good. And of course, it was really good. It was written by Marv Wolfman, but um, I really felt like this was something that really only Raven could have dealt with. I was wrong in thinking that it was connected. She and I were both wrong in thinking that it was somehow connected to her or Trigon. It was just it scanned her, so it knew how to deal with her. So that's all that was. But but it's a book about dealing with positive and negative emotions and how negative emotions can destroy you and how positive ones can help people, and Raven is all about emotion, so it makes sense that this would be a thing only she could competently combat. And it's actually kind of, and what's actually, I'm not sure if it's actually going to lead to anything, but apparently there are other giant white death balls in space, and it knows that Raven killed the one on Earth, so so more might come. So that might be a thing later on. I don't know. Or it could be happening right now. I don't, like I said, I haven't been reading, I haven't been keeping up with Teen Titans, so the giant white death balls could have come to Earth already, fucked shit up, and the Titans dealt with it already. I don't know. So tell me in the comments. Maybe it did happen already. I don't know. But like I said, I really liked Alice. Really liked Alice and her family. They're actually a good representation of what Christians are for fucking once. Showing the actual teachings of God. Alice is actually saying scripture as Raven is blowing up the giant white death ball, which is actually kind of funny because I feel like that's actually I think that actually did help Raven to a great degree. Not the words itself, because she doesn't believe in the Abrahamic God, but like but Alice is getting comfort from the Bible verses, and her comfort and her, and her faith is actually funneling into Raven and making her stronger. So it all works. It all really works. So I love that. I love that Christianity could have been used as a positive force when empowering a pagan character. Like, you don't see that ever. At least I haven't. I've never seen that, and I'm glad that I have. It's so great, and it isn't like it beating you over the head with it. It's not saying you should believe in God, because obviously you can't do that, because the fucking heroine of the book doesn't believe in God. So it's just an added thing to make this whole thing work a little bit better, and I think it worked really great. And I'm kind of disappointed that this was just a limited series. I would have liked for this to have been an ongoing thing. but it's not because okay, so I mean you still got the Titans, you can still read about Raven in there, and thankfully her costume is so much better in Titans than it is here. And actually, she isn't really in her costume that much. I guess she was in it for a good bit of the third and fourth chapter, the third and fourth issues, but like the last two, she wasn't in it at all, really. She was just in her normal street clothes fighting the thing, and I think that works. And of course, there is the whole mind erase thing, so everyone forgot that she was even a part of this. And they actually changed artists. I think around issue 3 or 4, because like I liked how the artist in the first couple of issues actually drew Raven, but like I said, he put the gem on the wrong place, and the artist in the last two actually put it on her forehead where it's supposed to be. So I still really like this design of Raven. I think it works really well, and just yeah, this is an overall good book. I highly recommend you check it out. I'll put a link in the description if I can find it on Comixology or something like that. I'll put a link in the description. So yeah, I'm No Mercy, the Mad Hatter. See y'all later.